Back to the Slightlee Daily Podcast. This is episode number 102. 102. Another Zoom call podcast. Little virtual, man. It's the 21st century. We're using our technology and whatnot. I got a brand new guest in here. Usually when I have the Zoom calls going, it's somebody brand new. So, sir, please introduce yourself.
What up? My real name is Jacob, but everybody just calls me Youngin. That's the name I go by in music. Like at school, everybody calls me that. Everybody just calls me Youngin. Um, I'm a rapper, but I've been kind of cool off that for a minute, just trying to like make a different way. I haven't really like found like really what my passion is yet. I've been playing sports for forever, but like
Okay.
I'm just trying to find something where it feels comfortable and like I actually love doing it, and it doesn't feel like I'm working for something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Like it feels
sure.
like I'm happy doing it.
What sports do you play or did you play?
I still play, but I broke my foot last football season.
Oh, dang.
I was starting quarterback. I'm a boxer.
Mm.
Play a little bit of basketball too.
Okay.
Basically everything, anything I can really get my hands on.
For sure. Football though. So is that kind of your main sport right now?
Oh yeah, I've been playing that since I was like 5. I've been playing tackle since I was like 6. It's
Tackle.
like
Okay. Went from tackle to
football.
quarterback.
Yeah, football's my stuff.
Okay.
Football is my stuff, bro.
So how old are you right now?
So right now I'm 15. I was actually the
15.
youngest in
Holy
that
cow.
in the Mud Records group. I was actually the
Okay.
youngest. And
Cool.
so we could dive into the Mud Record shit later because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah.
big, it's a lot of shit that went on with that.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get a just like a foundation. So you're 15, play some football. Where do you live right now?
I live in Spokane, Washington. It's
Washington.
like
Okay.
for a really long time, it was a really nice place to live. You know, you get all the four seasons, it's
Yeah.
whatever. But recently, like past 2, 3 years, drug trade has been going up. You know, like it's homelessness everywhere.
Oh wow.
The gang violence has shot up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and I so my story is like it's all over the place from where I've been living to where I've, done my shit at to where I have not done shit at. You know, I got a big long story about random
Yeah.
shit
For
and
sure.
go on and on about it.
So, Washington though, that's you don't hear a lot of like how much is like the rap scene in Washington, I guess you could say. I know there's like
Um,
Macklemore or something. He came from
mhm,
Washington, but like there's not a whole
yeah,
lot of like what's hip hop like out there, I guess.
uh, Spokane has only had maybe one rapper to ever like not even go big, like just
Yeah.
averaging like 100,000 views.
Uh-huh.
Like that's big, but like that's not mainstream. We've never had really a mainstream artist come out of Spokane. But
Okay.
out of Seattle, like you said, Macklemore, and that's about
Right.
6 hours away.
Mm.
And there's one on the rise right now. His name is Mike Jack. Um,
Okay.
he's out there in Seattle too. But other than that, Spokane really just has a bunch of like local rappers. Like,
Mm.
and let's not forget the fact that most of them are my skin pigment, but they
Yeah.
fucking suck. Like most of the Spokane rappers fucking suck. There's a
Okay.
few of them like OTG and shit. Like they're fire. That's like a little group, and they're fire. They just
Okay.
had, you know who Jay Holiday is?
I've heard of him. R&B singer,
He's
right?
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. He
Okay.
just did a show out here,
Okay.
and the OTG guys or OTGJ, which is I actually know him from Snapchat and shit.
Mm.
He actually just performed for him, opened for him,
Oh, nice.
and so they're popping off for sure. But it's like it's not too many opportunities, as you could say, as if you were living in like LA or some shit,
Yeah, or
you know?
Atlanta or something like New York, like a big market
Yeah,
for entertainment. So,
exactly.
um, okay, man. I guess kind of tell me your origin story with music. Who kind of helps you? Just like tell me your journey about you being a recording artist, recording rapper, whatever you want to call it. Like when did?
All right, for
Because you're
sure.
you're young as shit, so
Yeah,
it probably wasn't that long
yeah.
ago.
No, I kind of started writing when I was like 11, like just writing some random shit. And then kind of started when my mom had this beat ass minivan,
Okay.
and the only thing that was nice in it was a stereo. And so we were always listening to some shit. But every time I got in the car, we had to listen to Ti. That was my favorite rapper growing up. I
Okay.
always listened to Ti or 50.
Mm.
My mom always listened to Pac, but for some reason, as a kid, I wasn't drawn to that. I
Mm.
mean, as a kid, you could probably see why I wasn't drawn to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after a while, I've kind of thought like, damn, they make so much money, and like they rap about how much money they got, and I'm like, man, I want that money. And I was like 12, 13 when I really started like trying to find ways to record,
Mm.
and then I kind of started it with one of my childhood friends, and he could never write for shit until recently, so I was always writing all of his lyrics, and we would just record off my phone. And then one day, my older brother JJ, my oldest brother JJ, came home, and he was like, "I just got put into this new label, and at the time it was called Flow Gang." And so he was like, "I could try to put you on, like I could try to get you a little bit of clout." I was like, "All right, bro, let's try it." So
So your
boom,
brother
we
does music too?
he did for a long
He
time,
did.
but he'd been growing up, you know, he had a kid and shit. So he
Yeah,
kind of gave up on it. And he's just working, you know, doing the real life shit instead of just trying to make something way bigger than him.
for sure.
Because that's what I'm trying to do. Like I'm young still, so I have the opportunity to make something bigger than myself. But where is he at right now? Like he just has to work and make money, and then he can
Yeah.
figure out a thing for himself later on.
Mhm.
And so he put me on with Flow Gang, and they liked how I rapped. I made a couple songs, and then it turned into Mud Gang, which turned
Mhm.
into Mud Records, and it became more official.
Okay.
And then after then, I just started making music, and I made Juvenile Flow 1, and then within like 2 days, that shit hit 1,000. I was like, whoa, like this might
Mm.
actually be happening. So 2 days later, I go and drop Juvenile Flow 2. Like literally 2 days later, I go
Mhm.
drop part 2, and that did all right. It didn't do as good as the first one, um, but I was like, fuck it, let's go make part 3.
Yeah.
And so I went with my friend Jason to the studio, and then my friend Ali pulled up. They were both in Mud Records. And then we made part 3, and then that bitch blew up, had like 11,000 views
Yeah.
within
SoundCloud.
2 months. Yep, SoundCloud.
So this is all like give me like a timeline. These three songs you're talking about. This is like a year ago,
Last
two
last year,
last year.
last year, summer 2020.
Okay.
Like right after the pandemic hit, it was
Mhm.
probably around this time last year when I dropped Juvenile Flow Part 1.
Okay. So
And then
put me through or put me in the studio with you. Where were you whenever like you were recording these songs? Like whose equipment was it? Like did you buy your own? Like were you guys at such and such's house? Like
yeah,
how did that happen?
so the whole story is like the only place I've ever recorded music that I like that actually got professionally mixed and mastered and produced was my friend named Xander, which his producer name is Lavati. Um, he actually makes beats. He's a sound engineer. He does all this shit, like anything you could ever imagine that has to do with sound. He does, and he
For sure.
loves. He's really fucking good too, like really fucking good. But his house is down on the west side of Spokane, which is called Felony Flats. Not only
Mm,
because there's no hills, but also because it's like where all the tweakers, all the drugs, all the
for sure.
gangs are.
For sure.
It's not just that area, but that's a big popping area. Like that's the most dangerous area in Spokane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and
Um so Mud Records, Mud Gang. I'm
yeah,
I know Kuros because he reached out to me through it was literally like he someone he knew someone I knew type shit. Like and I
yeah,
so it was kind of like
yeah.
that type of shit. So I'm not that familiar with like besides the conversation I had with him about you know uh what you guys were doing. So kind of tell me, I guess man, talk to me like this is my first time ever hearing about it. Kind of
All
the
right,
conception of it. You know what I'm saying?
all right, yeah. So the founder of the record label was his name was Geo, and his music name was Geometric. He lived in Spokane, and that's who my brother was with, who he was rocking with, making music with. Um, and so once I got put into that, then it kind of changed into Mud Records, and that's when we found Kiros and Maury and Ali and Jason, myself. Like I've been in it since the beginning, but then we started adding like more and more people. But the issue is everybody in the group, like our motto was keep the circle small and we'll make it somewhere. But continuously, like every week, this Geo guy would add like 5 new artists into the
Yeah.
group. And we're like, we're cool with expanding, bro, but you got to run it by everybody that's been in the group for like the longest, bro.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
whether you like it or not, I still have a say in it. Just because I'm young doesn't mean I don't got a say in it, bro. I've been in this for I was in that record label for 2 years.
Mm.
And being 15, I've been in it since I was 13. Like I've
Yeah,
been
for
in that
sure.
shit for a long time. And so he kind of texted me one day and he was like, "You got to start showing like respect to me." And I was like, "Hold up, like where I'm from the West Side, and uh, like my mom, when she had me, I was born in Hilliard, which is another bad area. But then we moved to Oregon, came back, and I lived on the West Side when my dad came back into the picture, and that's where I started learning like more about like the hood mentality and like how shit works. And so I was like, you're not just gonna come texting me talking about some shit that I gotta respect you. I was like, I've been respecting you, like you put me on. I know you put me on, but like same time, you gotta show respect to get respect. Like I'm not gonna show you respect for not respecting me. That don't make no sense. And so we mowed that over, and uh I told him that he has to get rid of. There was two people in the group. I'm not gonna name drop. I'm not here for the drama. There was two people in the group, and I was like, they gotta go. Like what? It's like I'm sorry that you like them, but it's like a majority of the group that don't like them. Like they gotta go. And so when he said that they wouldn't, and then one of the kids started coming at Kiros, talking about like you got to put more effort into your music, like you got to change your sound, talking about some shit like that. I
Mm-hmm.
immediately stepped up for Kiros. I was like, bro, you don't even fucking make music. Like the kid in the record label wasn't even making music. He was just making cover art for one person only, and that was Gio. He was making cover art for nobody else. And he
Okay.
tried making music one time, and it was fucking butt cheeks.
Okay.
And so when he came at Kiros, I got on his head immediately. I was like, no, bro, like you don't even make music. You can't tell someone how to make music when you don't even know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so after I started confronting him about that, Gio started getting in his feelings about it. And so eventually it just led to me. I wanted to leave for a while, for like 2 months, because I felt like false energy coming from Gio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was thinking about leaving for a while, and then that night just kind of put the pin in the coffin. Like they were asking me to leave. I was like, with all due respect, fuck you guys, I'm gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
Okay.
that's when like it just folded. Like the whole entire record label just folded. After I
Yeah.
left, like for the next 3 to 4 weeks, it was like 4 people a week just leaving.
Mm.
And after that, everybody left and everybody was gone. And then it don't exist no more. Like,
Okay, okay. So let me ask you this, just to kind of for like the people who kind of are just this is their first time hearing about this shit. How did you guys? I mean, you're literally spanning from Tennessee, where me and Kuros are,
mm,
to Washington. To who? How many other states were involved in this? You know, a few others.
shit.
Basically, like what I'm asking is, how did you guys like connect?
Network,
Yeah, how did
I
that
feel.
happen?
Um, Basically, it was all. Uh, I never got to insert anybody into the group. Nobody ever really did except for Gio. He kind of treated himself as the head, but no person should ever be the head of a group, because once they go down, the whole group goes down. Like once you start going down the wrong path, everybody else does too, because you're the leader.
Yeah.
And so there should never really be a leader. Everybody should be seen as an equal, no matter what they do. And the second you try putting yourself above other people, that's when like shit starts crashing. And so that's exactly what happened. But the way everybody got brought in was he moved around a lot as like a kid and a teenager. From uh he knew Maury, which is one of the artists down there in Tennessee, and Kiros from there, and then North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the two. We had two or three artists from there. Florida, here in Spokane. I think there was other people. I don't know. I don't even like it got to the point where I didn't even know like
You
people
didn't
by
know a
their
lot
real
of
name.
people. Okay, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, did you and Kuros have like, you know, like a personal relationship at all, or was it like what one of those things where it was like there's just so many people that you kind of like you said you didn't know each other like too well?
Um. Yes and no. Like me and Karos were cool. Like I
Mm.
fucked with them, and we played the game a bunch. We got on Discord or whatever, talked with him. Like it was just random shit. Whenever we ran into each other, we talked. I never had a problem with him.
Okay, okay.
But the people I was closest to in the group would probably be Ali and Jason for sure, because they were
Mm.
like my brothers for sure.
And
Like I've known Jason for 8, 9 years before
oh,
this music
okay.
shit.
I was about to ask if these were people that was in your kind of Washington area.
Yeah, Ali and Jason both live in Spokane.
Okay. Okay, okay. So, moving on. What how long ago did this happen? I guess like how long ago did you kind of stop the group kind of crumble? I guess you could say this year,
March,
March. Okay, so
March of 2021.
so since from March now to May, what have you been doing musically, or like what have you kind of been doing since then?
Um, just trying to stay out of trouble.
Okay,
Uh,
for sure.
that I obviously I broke my foot playing football
Mm.
in like four places. Had to get surgery and some shit.
Tough.
Yeah, some fucked up shit. But I've been trying to make music, but
Mm.
it's also like I've had like this weird writer block, and it's
Mm.
like I can't really get past it. I'll freestyle like a motherfucker and go through like 10 minutes of a freestyle, and then go to write it, and I just don't remember what I said.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's, yeah, yep,
So it's kind of been in this kind of weird gray area since then
yeah.
for you.
That I'm really ready to get out of. Like
Mm.
I want to make music so bad, and I want to like put out music so bad. And it's not because I like seeing like going to my insights and seeing like views flowing in. I don't give a fuck about views, bro. I will
Mm.
make music for 10 people. Like as long
Hey,
as those 10 people fuck with it, I'm cool. Like I
hey,
don't care about that.
I definitely feel the same because I mean, dude, this is 102 episodes. I mean, I get
I've
gradual.
grinded, bro.
No, I appreciate it, brother. I definitely feel what you're saying. I'm gonna keep. I get fucking. If I get 10 views on YouTube, I'm hype. But at the end of
Exactly.
the day, like I don't care. Like this shit is interesting to me. This is all about
Yeah.
meeting new people. Uh, I've told this story a thousand times on the podcast, but briefly, I do this. What's really rooted in this is I did music for a long time, and I know what it's like to be someone like you in your shoes, young, and kind of put some stuff out, and you're like, damn, I wish somebody would give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to spotlight, like someone like Kuros. Like he hit me up. We did the thing. I'd never heard any of his music until he hit me up, and then I was like, okay, cool. Boom. There's a connection. And then look at you see what happened here? Like
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Like
Yeah.
that's what
You
it's
meet
all
one
about.
artist. Yeah. Wherever one fish is, there's got to be a couple more.
Mhm.
Um. So like, there's a question for you.
Go for it.
Doing the podcast thing, when
Mhm.
you look at views, it's a mistake a lot of people make. Do you look at them as views, or do
Mhm.
you look at them as people that actually looked up your name or saw your name and was like, I'm gonna fuck with that
Um Probably the second option, honestly. That's what I look at it as, but also at the same time though, dude, like we just said, I don't really care about how many views it gets because I know that I'm establishing a brand. I'm establishing legitimacy. I'm building like a portfolio. So let's say
guy. You're networking like a motherfucker. You know, like
like
15 different artists.
exactly like a motherfucker. I mean, and that's the thing too is this isn't just about rappers and shit. Like it's a lot of the clientele, but like I did a Zoom call. So my friend lives in California. This guy, long story short, this guy he works with, is like really into like science and like
Yeah.
science fiction. And we got on a Zoom call and we talked about time travel and like physics and like what intrigues him for like an hour. And then like that, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, cause like me, I'm not a genius. I don't know shit about what he was talking about, but I was
Yeah.
like trying to learn. You know what I'm saying?
For
I,
sure.
I was like taking a back seat, like, okay, now explain me this, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Instead of just
Yeah.
like interviewing someone, like, hey, where you from? Which is still like interesting. It's still
Yeah.
intriguing, I guess you could say.
Because the reason I asked that question is because when I go into my folder in SoundCloud and I look at my insights, I don't
Mm-hmm.
go in there and I'm looking at Juvenile Flow Part 3 has like 11.6 thousand views. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at that. I'm not like, dang, I got a lot of views. I
Yeah,
look at it, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of people.
people.
Like, if
Yeah,
there's that many people in a room, you're gonna be like, holy fuck, this
yeah.
room is packed, and you're
That's
gonna want to get the fuck out.
11,000 people. That's a big high school game.
Exactly. That's a
That's a
big fucking
huge.
high school game
That's a
where
big
that's a
high
whole
school.
entire venue
Yeah,
just
exactly,
sold out. Like,
exactly.
so if 11.5 thousand people want
Mm-hmm.
to listen to my song, I'm gonna be like, okay, I respect you as a person
Yeah,
because you're respecting me. You're giving me a chance to.
for
You're
sure.
listening to me. Like nobody wants to listen to anybody anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
want to be the one that's running their mouth about everything, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, for sure, for
And
sure.
and so if 11.5 thousand people want to talk about, like, listen to what I have to say, whether
Mm.
it's about fucking shooting somebody or whether it's about fucking getting shot or whether it's about your mom dying or killing somebody, like, it doesn't matter no matter
Mm.
what it is. if you're gonna listen to me, then I'm gonna respect you.
For sure.
Unless you're listening to clown, because dude, there's some people that will listen to my music. Like I've seen like
Yeah.
a screenshot or two like got sent to me or something, and they start clowning on my music. I'm like, dude, do you even make music? What are you doing with your life? At
Yeah.
least I'm doing something productive. And
Right.
so I sat music down for like 6 months last year, and I deleted all my shit off my SoundCloud. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, cool, watch this. And so I'm 15 and I worked 2 jobs all summer, all
Mm-hmm.
the whole COVID summer, which was like 8 9 months. I
Mm-hmm.
made shit ton of money. I made a shit ton of like I expanded my portfolio, and I know a bunch of people now. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know millionaires, and I also know people that are still gang banging and drug dealing. Like
For
I'm to
sure.
the point where I'm comfortable with going out in the hood and hanging out there, but I'm also comfortable with going to a mansion
Yeah.
and talking. Like
Yeah.
I'm
For
not
sure.
showing up to a mansion to try to mug some shit. I'm showing up to a mansion to talk.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to the block just to get some shit for writing or music. I'm going there because I have people that I care about.
Right.
Like right behind my house in the alley, like one of the people I refer to as a brother, Z, lives right behind me.
Mm.
And like I'll go back there every single day and check on him, make sure he's good.
Right.
Like just because he's not the same status as I am, or just because I'm not the same status as he am or as he is, doesn't mean we're both not human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm
Absolutely.
gonna always take care of whoever I fuck with, whether they're a millionaire or whether they're in debt. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Money is not an object. Well, money's an object, but it's not an object that matters.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about life, money does not matter.
You're right,
You
man.
can meet a fucking homeless person on the street dancing, bro.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
happy as fuck that they get a dance, bro.
Yeah, a lot of
Like
there's probably some billionaires out there that are depressed. And you're like
exactly,
some people can't comprehend that. It's like, but you have everything except
exactly.
except non-tangible things like feelings,
Yeah,
emotions. You have
I I forgot what rapper it was. He said some shit like, "I just bought a house, but with nobody in it, it isn't a home." And that goes beyond the bar.
yeah,
That goes beyond the
honestly,
music. Like
yeah.
if I lived in a house alone, but I had 13 bedrooms, I don't give a fuck. Nobody to stay in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
I'm alone.
No
I'd rather live in
family,
a
no
2 bedroom
friends.
apartment
Yeah.
with all of my homies.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather live in a 2 bedroom apartment with my whole family and all my
Mhm.
homies.
Yeah,
Like I would
absolutely.
rather do that than live in a mansion. That's just because I'm not a people person. Like I'm completely against new people because I've seen it before. New people come in, the new people gain intelligence or gain fucking knowledge or some shit, and then they
Mhm.
go
And they're
rat it
gone.
to somebody else
Mhm.
and then they're gone. Like
Mhm.
you just told them, you just pour some shit out to them, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Like why would you do that? And instead, just keep your circle small and pluck the fake ones out one by one. You'll meet 1,000 fake people before you meet one real one.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I don't give a fuck about followers or views. Like,
Mhm.
how many of those people are actually there to listen to me, and how many people are there just because they saw it? You know?
Let me ask you this. Say this is the first time that they ever seen your face, or the first time that they ever heard your song or watched one of your Instagram videos or something like that. What would you want to tell them?
Shit, stick around, bro, because I'm gonna go somewhere. It might not be all the way to the top. It might just be a little bit. And the people that are loyal to me, I reward in some way, whether it's like no matter what. I can't even think about what it could be because like I reward the people that are loyal to me because loyalty is such a big thing to me.
Mm.
Like there's been instances before where like a family member would fuck me over and like do me wrong, and then I would build that trust bridge back with them, and then they would, as soon as they got halfway across the bridge, just break the bridge again. And so eventually after that shit adds up, bro, it's to the
Yeah.
point right now where like, bro, I don't care who
Yeah.
you are,
Kind of cold,
blood or
frozen
not,
off. Yeah.
like exactly. I'm cold right now, bro. And so
Mm.
when I see like real ass people, that shit is like it's like a refreshing like sight to me
Mm.
because growing up, we never had we never had it all. We never like we always had the Walmart shoes, like everything Walmart because that's all we could afford. Like my mom, she worked 2 jobs and went to school when I was in elementary school from third to seventh grade. She graduated when I was in seventh grade.
Mm.
And then my dad was out of the house basically my whole life. My mom kicked him to the curb when I was like 2. Mom got him gone. And then I didn't even like reunite with him until I was 12, until he got clean and sober. Like my dad was a deadbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom brought stepdad in after about 3 years of my real dad being gone. And I'm always gonna have love for this guy because he turned me into a man.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
he raised me, but at the same time, he also did my mom wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom is like the closest thing to me. My mom and my girlfriend are like the closest thing to me because I've been with my girlfriend for like 3 years. I know that's
Mm.
crazy because I'm 15, but I've
Yeah,
been with my girlfriend for like three
still
years.
counts. Still counts.
Exactly. And I obviously my mom has raised me from, knee height to fucking where I am now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so those are the two people that I'm a cold motherfucker, dog. Like I don't care what anybody does to me or what anybody has to say. But as soon as it happens between me and my mom or me and my girlfriend or somebody brings them up, then I'm a whole different person. Like
Mm.
I don't give a fuck about any rules. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like it's just at that point it's me and you from the chest up. It's me and you. Like I don't give a fuck about anything else. And
Yeah.
sometimes I just be blacking out. When I get pissed off, I black out and don't even remember what the fuck I say or do.
Okay, let's switch gears. So, football, athletics has been a important part of your life. Tell me, because I played sports my whole life until I graduated high school. I played
Hmm.
baseball all the way till I was 18, my senior year of high school. Give me some athletes or like somebody who inspires you as a person, and kind of tell me the importance that sports has kind of played in your life.
For
You still got
sure.
you still got a few years in you at least. I know that,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah,
just
for
kind of
sure.
tell me how it's made you, the person you are today.
Yeah. So with football, it was kind of like my mom's always been like a huge Seahawks fan. Seattle was fucking close to Kansas, so Washington. So we've always been a Seahawks or whatever, but I never really had this like one person that I like looked. It's always just myself. Like playing football, I never thought about like home issues. I never thought about my mom and my ex stepdad fighting at home. I never thought about my dad leaving or my mom kicking, whatever the fuck happened. I never think about friend issues, disloyalty. Like when I'm on the field, I just think about the field. Or when I'm in the ring, I just think about beating the fucking shit out of whoever's in front of me, no matter how big or small they are. Like I just focus on me when I'm playing sports. So whoever my biggest inspiration was, I would say it's probably my struggle because it's not a certain person that I can throw all my inspiration at because it's been a long road of uh trials and tribulations in my life and I was forced to grow up quick. So being 15, I feel like most 15-year-olds do like aren't where me or like the people I surround myself are because they haven't had to go through the same shit I went through. Like growing up fast is one of the shittiest things, but one of the best things you could possibly do because you still want to be a kid, but at the same time you have enough knowledge in your life and you've gone through enough struggle to where you're ready to be an adult.
Yeah,
Like you
for
know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah, I definitely relate to that. I to a certain degree, I had to grow up too because I'm the oldest, and stuff happens, and you got to put your big boy pants on, for sure, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Tell me, all right, okay, so there's no athletes that you can say can give credit for that directly inspire you, but who are some athletes that you admire, like boxers, football players? Just admire.
Boxers
Just give me some people you're like, oh,
for
he's a
sure.
dope boxer. Oh, I like how he plays football.
I'll go through the three sports. Boxers, um, I'd probably say Mike Tyson because he's just a dog.
Oh,
Like
dude,
Mike Tyson can still get beat and then go talk shit about the same dude that just beat him. Mike Tyson's a fucking dog.
you need to go
So
watch his
probably Mike.
podcast.
I'm gonna. I've
Hit,
I've been trying to. It's
dude,
just like
it's awesome.
I know I have a lot of time, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I
I
feel
I
that.
think I think of it like if I watch an hour and a half long podcast
Mm-hmm.
with Mike Tyson or
Dude, it's
with
worth it.
whoever the fuck. Like,
Yeah,
what else could I be doing with that hour and a half? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
definitely. I feel
I
that.
feel like I need to because I like watching podcasts where people are being real. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like podcasts bring that out in people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just so into their deep fake where they just fucking keep faking. Like for an hour and a half, I can never fake that long. Like I'm not faking right now. This is me, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but so boxers, I would say Mike.
Mike, for sure, man. He's an
Um,
animal. God, he was so good.
and then I gotta go Lennox Lewis.
Mm.
I think I have to. Yeah, I like Floyd, but at the same time, Floyd is like
He figured
how do
out the
I say
game.
it?
He just plays
He
the game.
he plays the game, and it sucks to see, but at the same time, it's cool because like
Yeah.
he really made it.
Yeah,
But at
he
the same
did.
time, it sucks to see because he's when he goes into box nowadays, he doesn't go into box. He doesn't do it for the sport anymore.
Money.
He goes in there for money and
Mhm.
entertainment. And
Mhm.
while it might entertain some people, I see right through that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know if that was just a Sunday and Floyd wasn't getting paid for that, it was
Uh-huh.
just in his backyard, he would not be doing that shit.
For
He
sure.
stopped loving the sport once he started making millions of
Yeah,
dollars.
probably
He
10 years
started,
ago.
yeah, probably just about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, so football, ooh, that's big. That's a big one because growing up, like in the yard playing in the backyard,
Yeah.
um, or like even across the street, there's a park across the street. Like,
Mhm.
as a kid, you like commentate on yourself, like
You're
you
like,
say,
"Oh, I'm so and so."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was always Tyler Lockett because I watched him
Oh yeah.
in college,
Hell yeah.
and then I watched him from college all the way to NFL.
A superstar.
Um, exactly. Or Russell Wilson because
Yeah.
Russell Wilson isn't like he's like the definition of team player in
Oh, I
all of
love
his
Russell.
interviews. In all of his interviews, you'll never hear him say, "Yeah, I played good tonight. Yeah,
Mhm.
I did good. Yeah, I
Nope.
made this. Like I had a 60%
Yeah.
completion rate." Like
No, the
he doesn't
team.
say I. He
Yeah.
says the team played good. The
Uh-huh.
defense came out and
Yep.
played. The offense came out did their
Coaches
shit.
did
Like
good,
yeah,
executed.
he brings the whole team together.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
for the longest time, when I looked up to that, I would think, "Where's my team, and what can I bring to all of us?" Like what can
Absolutely.
I put? Like I can put them on my back and take them somewhere, the same way Russell Wilson is.
Mhm.
I don't look at football players as football players. Again, I
Yeah.
look at them as humans because I have the
Yeah.
same opportunities they have, whether I believe it or not. I have the
Mhm.
same opportunity to go D1, even though I'm a fucking 5'10" white kid. It don't matter.
Hey,
Like
so
just
hey,
work your ass off.
Russell's 5'10".
Exactly. And not only that, but he also
Kyler
went to the
Murray too.
MLB. He went to the MLB first.
Yeah.
Like
Kyler
he
Murray
played
did
it.
too. Kyler Murray
Exactly.
did
Like
too.
you could take multiple different routes to get where they're at. And it's not
Mhm.
because they didn't like it's not because they had a dad that just paid their way or they had a
Yeah.
mom that just
Yeah,
paid
they
their
had to
way.
earn it.
They worked for it.
Mhm.
And so when you're laying in bed and it's 4 o'clock and you're just like, all right, I'm just like some days it's cool to like just relax. But some days if you're just sitting there in bed, not doing shit,
Yeah.
think about it. Is that going to get you where you want to be? Like
No, it won't.
if you're laying in bed all day, like are you really going to get where you want to be, or are you just thinking you want to be there? Like, do you really want to be there? Or you're just thinking you want to.
For
You
sure.
know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, man. We're getting on the back end of this thing. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, plug, or ask me? The floor is yours for this last little segment here, bro.
All right.
Anything you want to say, hey, I got this going on. Hey, I also want to say this, or any questions you have for me.
Yeah. Um, I want to do like a shout out, but I don't want to shout out specific names. I'll drop a few names, but I don't want to like on the off chance I leave somebody out, I don't want them to
Oh,
feel some type of way about it.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
anybody who's ever like supported me, no matter whether it's making a fucking lunch decision at school, I don't give a fuck. Like no matter what it was, music, football, basketball, boxing, real life, like when one of my family members died and you were right there with me, like when those people that have been with me through it all, you'll know who you are. And if you have to second guess yourself, like, wait, is that me? And you're listening to this,
Mm,
then it's not you.
yeah,
Like,
you know who you are.
um, you know for a fact who you are. And just a few main ones, like my Oregon family was huge to me. Like when I lived in Oregon, that's when I really started picking up sports. Like in a small ass town with like 1,800 people, like just some small shit. I really started playing sports. And like my biggest sport inspiration that's not in a major league is definitely my cousin Keegan because growing up, every time I would watch him, play football, run a kick return back, I'd be like, I want to fucking do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or Tucker Smith, he lives in Oregon too. He's always just been a rock. Like he's always just been solid. He's never like he's not the type to like hold shit back from you, just right up in your face with it.
Hmm.
Um, my brother Luke from Oregon, he's always like he was my stepbrother when my mom was with my ex stepdad. he's like for sure. He's real as shit. He's real as fuck, and I love that kid. My girlfriend, like being 15 and having a girlfriend for 3 years, everybody just looks at it as like whatever. Like that's cool that you can hold it for that long, but at the same time, it's like no, like my girlfriend and I have like a bond that I wouldn't trade for anything. Like me and my girlfriend are close as shit, and no matter what ever happens, I can always rely on her. Whether it's I need a ride, like there was an incident one night where I needed a ride from the west side, and she lives like 20 minutes away at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I just called her and her mom, and they were on their way to come get me. Like so definitely my girlfriend, my Oregon family, my mom's for sure. My mom has always played both sides, whether it's being a dad or a mom. She's always been solid. Like my mom's been that bitch for a long ass time.
That's awesome.
Um, and then my brothers that live in my house, like we fight all the time. That's what brothers do. Like I'll still die for them. They're still my rocks.
That's awesome, dude.
And yeah. And then on the end where it's like they're my brothers, but like they're not from my mom. Uh Zay, which is he lives right behind me. Bruh, like we started the way I met him was through we were about to fight. Like we were both like we were going to school
Like, what's
ready
up?
for some shit. We were about to fight. And then we show up and we like locked eyes and some shit clicked. And then we just dapped each other up. And it was on some cool shit. And ever since he's been solid. That's my brother. Um Xander, when I first moved into Spokane from Oregon again, um, I lived with my uncle in a 2 bedroom apartment with like or not apartment, 2 bedroom house with like 8 people. And then that was in the valley. So the first house my mom ever got alone was on the like northwest side, so not like in the heart of the ghetto, but like still a iffy area. I lived backyard to backyard with this kid named Xander. First day, like when we were just looking at the house, we didn't even know if we were moving in yet. He was in his backyard, and I just walked up to the fence. I was like, "What's up?" And then we started throwing the football back and forth. And ever since then, it's raps. Like I've known that kid for almost 10 years. That kid's a legend. Like we've had our shit. Everybody goes through their shit. But that kid's for a brother. Definitely all the people that like in the record label, whether I don't give a fuck if they don't fuck with me. Like some of the people in the record label could not fuck with me all they want, but if we were in person, they wouldn't say they don't fuck with me. It's those type of people in that record label that those were the people that I was like, Gio, you got to get going. But the real ass people in there, like Ali, like Kiros, like Maury. Me and Maury went through some shit when I left or when I got kicked or whatever you want to call it. We went through some shit, but at the same time, like everybody goes through some shit, especially if you're brothers. But it matters about how hard you can pull through on the back end. When you come into the back end, if you can still dap each other up and say, you fucked up, I fucked up, let's restart. Like if you could do that with somebody, then that means that they're down to ride for you. But you have to also see like if their intentions are pure, like what they do when you fuck up. Like if they go do some shit for revenge, then they're not real. Like if
Yeah.
they go do some shit to try to get back at you to make you feel how they felt, if they were really genuinely hurt and like they're like a real ass motherfucker, they're not gonna make you want to hurt as bad as they did because they won't want to put you through that.
Mm.
They'll understand that you made a mistake. They'll need some time to think about it. But at the same time, like they wouldn't go back on you. Like they wouldn't double back on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So basically just the people that have like in your heart, you've never switched on me. Like if you're listening to this, again, like I said earlier, if you got to double check yourself, like, have I ever fucked him over? Have I ever did him wrong? Then you're not cool, bro. Like you're not my brother. But like if you're also the person that knows for sure you've never done me wrong or you've never, did any sideways shit to me, then I fuck with you. And this shout out is to you. Whether no matter who you are. I don't give a fuck. If you've never done me wrong, shout outs to you because it's to the point where there's less people in this world that'll do you right than do you wrong. There's less people in this world that will have your back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, man. So I appreciate you coming on, bro.
I appreciate you having me, bro. We've been trying to do
Absolutely.
this for like a month now.
Yeah, pretty much. Just I
It
work a
was,
full-time job. I got
yeah, I
a ton
feel.
of stuff going on, but um, yeah, dude. At Youngin Instagram.
Yep.
spell that out?
Yunginn.
Cool,
And
cool.
then I think it might be underscores. Oh, it's an underscore in front and behind it.
Perfect.
But
All right, man. Any last remarks before we get off here? Episode 102.
no,
All
I
the way up.
appreciate you. No
Absolutely,
matter
dude.
no matter if we do this again or not, I
Yeah,
appreciate you for having me.
for sure, man.
I fucks with you heavy. You
Yeah,
seem like
dude.
a real ass motherfucker.
Absolutely,
You
man.
you seem genuine about actually wanting to do the podcast shit.
Hmm.
Like you don't seem like you're just doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, keep grinding, bro. Because I see you put up like anywhere from half an hour to an hour long videos
At
weekly.
least, yeah, at least, man,
Yeah,
with the highlights and shit too. But yeah, dude, you got my phone number, man. Just text me, man.
for sure,
If you ever get
for
back
sure.
into making music, man, send me
Oh,
some new
I'm
stuff.
definitely gonna album coming soon.
Cool.
I'm not gonna drop a date because when I do that, I fuck
Yeah,
myself up.
yeah, yeah. Don't
But
do that. But
album definitely coming soon. Album definitely coming soon.
all right, man. Have a good rest of your day. Okay.
All right, you too. I appreciate you.